Hello everybody, this is lesson 3 on intervals, and in this lesson I want to talk about inversions. And an inversion really is going to be your strategy to figure out large intervals. So it's really going to be helpful. It's a shortcut for figuring out large intervals. And I realized that I haven't even talked about the different qualities of the fifths, the sixths, and the sevenths, and even the octaves, because I really think that this concept is going to make this a lot easier. And this is how musicians think about intervals all the time. An inversion is turning anything upside down. When you invert your body, you go upside down. You do any kind of body inversion. So it's the same thing in music notation and in music. Whenever you take an interval and so for example, I just took a third. This is a third. And actually, why don't I just be really specific? F to A, that's going to be a major third. So if I take that major third and I flip it, so I take that A and then I put the F up here. Maybe I'll put the F up there. I'll try that. What I'm going to get, I don't even have to think about it. I know that that is a minor sixth. So the way that interval inversion works is that it always adds up to 9, and it is the opposite in quality. So if you start off with this is an E to F, which is a minor second. If I start off with a minor second and I flip that around and I do F and I put E up here, then I end up with a major seventh, because that adds up to 9, 2 plus 7, and then it is the opposite quality, major minor. If I start off with how about F to G, that is a major second, and I take that F and I put the G below it, which would be down here. I now have some ledger lines here. You can guess already that is going to be a minor seventh. And that's how you can quickly figure out sevenths and sixths, which I can never say that, it's so hard, sixths. That is the easiest way to figure out what those intervals are, is to think the opposite. And I sort of did that before when we were doing intervals, just generic intervals, and instead of counting up to 7, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, it's much easier to just think, oh, C, just down 1, and then I hit B, and that's my seventh. Now, the other way that you really want to understand intervals is by knowing your major and minor scales. And this is harder. However, it's harder only in the short run. If you count semitones, I almost don't even want to tell you how many semitones are in a minor 6 or a major 6. I'll let you figure that out, but that's not the way musicians calculate intervals. We do not count the number of semitones. There are faster ways to do it, and it involves knowing your scales and modes. So if you have an F and say you have to do an exercise where it's asking for a minor 6 above F, then, sorry, I just got distracted because my phone rang. First, I would put the generic. I already know that that's a 6. And then from F, I think of F as do, and a minor 6 is do to lay. So I know that that would have to be a B flat, because in the key of F, there are 4 flats. Now, that's a lot of information that I know there. You have to know the minor scale. You have to know what scale degree, or what scale degree to go to figure that interval out. But that's how you figure it out. A minor 6 is always do to lay, do to lay. So you just think of the bottom as the tonic, and then you go up to lay. Now, what if you want to reverse that and say you wanted to do a minor 6 down, and actually I'll put that here. Say you want to do a minor 6. What if that was a minor 6 up? And now say you want to do a minor 6 down. So again, the generic interval is a 6. So right there, that would be partial credit. But I know that from do down to mi is a minor 6. I also know if I flip it in my head, I also know do, I think that descending intervals are challenging. I really do. I think they're a little bit harder than ascending intervals. I think thinking up do to lay isn't as bad, but when you have to think down, which one is scale degree 3? Which one is mi? Because it's a minor 6 down. Instead, you can think a major third up. This is where I really think the interval inversion method is really, really helpful. So I know that do to mi, that's a major third. So now I just take that E and I write it down there. And now I'm left with a minor 6. And then of course I would need to erase all of that scratch. But that's how I do that. And you can do it in an instant. You get faster at it as you practice. Now say you're asked to write a major 7th up from G. I actually think major 7ths are super easy to do it in the context of a key. A major 7th up is T. It's the leading tone. So in the key of G, that's F sharp. So there is my major 7th up. Now say I'm on a G and I'm supposed to write a major 7th down, okay? Major 7th down. All right, so the way I would do this is I would think, instead of counting all of that down, I would just think, well, what is the inversion? The inversion would be a minor 2nd up, and minor seconds are so easy because it's just the next letter and it's a half step. Minor seconds are only 1 semitone. So as opposed to 11 semitones versus 1 semitone, 1 semitone is the shortest path. So I would think G, and then I would kind of do the scratch. Okay, that would have to be an A flat. Okay, so then I would write G to A flat, and then I have my major 7th down, and that's how you figure that out, through the inversion method. Now, can you do the inversion method of intervals ascending? Yes, of course you can do that. You can always do the inversion method. I just think that figuring out scales, because we learn them ascending linearly, I think it's pretty easy to think up. But you can do it the other way. So let's say we want to do a minor 7th. And as soon as I write minor 7th, you probably can already guess what the inversion of that's going to be. Let's start it on E. So that's our starting point, E. And let's say you were supposed to write a minor 7th up. So the opposite, or not the opposite, but the opposite quality and size would be major 2nd. So I think from E, what's a major 2nd down? Oh, that would be D. That's a whole step. So then now I have my 7th, and there you go. And that is the answer. What if I wanted to do a minor 7th down? What if I start from E, this point here? So I could use the interval inversion method and just think, okay, then the inversion would be opposite is major, and it would be a 2, so up, major 2 up. So major 2 up would be here. Let's see, E to F is only a half step, right? I double check it on the keyboard. Yes, E to F, that's only a half step. So that's 1 semitone, that's not gonna work. I need to go E to F, I need to go to here, that's F sharp. So that means this is going to take an F sharp. So I would go sharp, F, and then I would that's my scratch. So then I would take that F sharp and I would write it down here. So then I actually have the correct answer and erase any of my scratch work, just so it's always clear what the answer is going to be. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk specifically about perfect intervals and how to also use the qualities of diminished and augmented.